What's the deal? It's E from the inside out. Um, the reason why I make these videos the way that I do and talk about the things that I talk about is because it gives a sense of grounding to all the noise that's outside, right? Everybody's trying to do something for clout. Everybody's trying to do something for a reaction. Everybody is trying to put on a front. Everybody's trying to talk all. Sometimes you'll see out. Sometimes some videos I might be hyped. I might be going crazy, going whatever. Cool, but who is having serious conversations with no biases or no hate, no envy, not trying to gaslight people or manipulate or persuade to a certain side or not being divisive? Who is having a normal conversation with you? You know what I'm saying? Who is coming to you like a friend or a brother or a son or a uncle, putting you on game, or even a father? Who is coming to you like that and calling things out? Who's coming to you like that and calling things out without wanting you to buy a course or, get their ebook, or wanting you to subscribe here or send this, send that, or you got to have a one-on-one call with me for that? Like, I will offer those things in the future. Once this channel starts to get some traction and all that and people start to follow, cool. But my thing is, the attention span of everybody is at an all-time low. Like, it's hard for people to stay focused on one thing. They're always on to the next, here. And that's fine when it's certain things, but when it comes to learning, and it comes to conversations, and it comes to forming and establishing a connection, you need to have a high attention span. You need to be able to focus. You need to be able to comprehend. You need to be able to listen. You need to be able to read. You need to be able to have discernment. And that's why we got a whole generation of people that's makes, they do first and ask questions later. And then they want to make excuses like, oh, well, I didn't know about this. I wasn't feeling this way, and they were manipulating me, and this is that. No, bro. I graduated high school in 2018. And as a 18-year-old at that time, everybody knew exactly what they were doing. Even the freshmen coming in, everybody knew exactly what they were doing. From 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Of course, older people are going to have a little bit more experience, can run a little bit more game, open your mind to different things, different experience, different environments. But as far as partaking in the situation, I seen it in front of my eyes. People knew exactly what they were doing. Everybody was of age to know what's right or wrong. You don't see people walking into the store and stealing stuff like that. Not all the time. You don't see people making crazy ass moves and all that, because at the end of the day, they know it's wrong. So when you have all of these people making excuses like, oh, I was young and dumb, and no, bro, I remember this vividly. Like, I remember this like it was yesterday. This is why it's important for me to get my side of the story out there too, because I'm still somewhat young. Everybody in high school that was making decisions knew exactly what they were doing. And I was there. And if you told them any otherwise, they did not want to listen. They did not want to hear nothing. They wanted to do exactly what they were doing. And then they wanted you to have sympathy for them when they did the dumb stuff. It will come back to you like, oh, well, you're not empathetic enough. You're not like, I told you that was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. You knew the outcome. You just didn't want to pay attention to it. You wanted to be blindsided to it so you can experience that and then in return play victim. But you knew that was going to happen. So we're like making all these excuses for these children. We're allowing all these grown ass adults to make excuses for children. Like, no, these children are smarter than ever. These children have the most freedom than ever. These children have the most knowledge than ever. And we want to make all these excuses for these children. No. Like, even going off on a tangent. Like, I don't even remember what I was originally talking about. I really don't. Oh, yeah. Attention span. That was a tangent going off on a generation raised on laptops and iPad and all that. These children are growing up scrolling, always on to the next. Kids don't even watch cartoons anymore. They don't watch cartoons. They scrolling on a damn iPad, looking for games, looking for apps, scrolling on social media, YouTube Kids, all of that. So then you grow up and they can't form relationships. They can't form meaningful connections because they're always on to the next. They're on to the next, on to the next. And that's from parents not holding them accountable. And then parents enabling that toxic behavior. And then they get bored easily. They get bored quick. Right? Because even my generation grew up half old school and half new school. We were the last of the last to grow up fully like regular children and not just on the game all day and on the iPad all day. We were outside. We were running. We were at the parks. We was riding bikes. We was doing all types of stuff, experiencing being a kid, right? But now most of these children are inside on an iPad, on social media, on a game, just being indoctrinated by social media. And that, for my generation, we were seeing terrible stuff on social media, but we were still outside experiencing what the real world was like. Like, oh, okay, we can't be doing that. We can't be saying that. We got to be solid. We got to be a man of our word. We got, you know what I'm saying? There's consequences for my actions. Now you have kids that's strictly being raised on the internet and thinking that what they're doing and how they are acting is right, and they're thinking they are more important than what they are and who they are. And they have zero attention span. So when it comes to somebody like me that can break things down, slow their world down, they call me unk or boring or whatever. Like, even people my age and older. Like, no, we are not about to be acting like no little ass kids that can't comprehend anything, that can't hold a thought, that can't hold emotion, that can't hold a feeling. Like, no, you are teaching these kids to run away from themselves. I'm like, you can't do that with me. You're not going to be able to. Hey, good morning. Yeah, you guys can't do that with me. It's yeah. I come in when it's time to move fast, it's time to move fast, but you can't be moving fast 24/7. You can't be so detached 24/7. You have to establish real connections and real relationships. You got to slow down sometimes and think for yourself and think what you're actually doing. Think before you speak, think before you say, and take accountability. And that is the lost art. And people think only old people and old heads have that. And I make sure I keep that. I make sure I keep that. And I've always had that. And I made like, even older people be like, why are you being so serious? Why are you being so slow and all? It's a balance. And everybody's out here moving fast. And then blaming, they gaslighting people. They taking their trauma out on other people. That's why relationships are not working. That's why marriages don't work. That's why women are all the way backwards. That's why boys are too manipulated and too soft. People moving too fast, growing up too fast without actually understanding what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but they just don't care to know or care to know about the ramifications of what they're doing. They're just out here getting tattoos, drinking, smoking, partying, having all these trauma bonds and connections, sexual relationships at ages that they don't need to be doing at, instead of developing their soul and becoming their self as an actual child. They're just out here doing shit. There's no foundation being built with these children. And that's because of all those agendas being pushed. And just be soft and let them do what they do and be who they are. No. They need direction and guidance, and correction, and discipline. On God. I come on here to slow the world down. If you actually are able to listen to one of these videos, if you are actually able to listen, hello? Yeah, if you're actually able to listen and follow through with one of these videos, you'll know it will start to make you be self-aware. You'll know you'll start to question yourself and your decisions and what you're doing. And that, no, everything is not fine. Everything you're doing is not okay. What are the ramifications? What are the causes? Every action, there's a reaction. What are the reactions from how you're moving and what you're doing? It's not normal to be moving all sporadic and all fast and not having emotional attachment to anything that you're doing. Killing yourself from the inside out. I'm here to tell you to slow down. Think to yourself. Think about what you're doing. That's what these videos are for. This is the real. This is authentic. On God.